On the day I earned my certification, my manager sneered, "Too bad you'll still make $15 an hour," giving my role to his nephew instead. He made me do 2 jobs and follow illegal orders to prove I'm a team player. I stayed silent and obeyed until state regulators walked in with my emails. I sit in the small conference room at the hospital in Madison, Wisconsin, certificate in hand, heart pounding. My manager, Caleb, clears his throat. "Congratulations on the certification," he says, his voice flat. Then he smirks and adds, "Too bad you'll still be making $15 an hour." I freeze, my voice catches. I glance down at the laminated certificate, Certified Medical Data Specialist. I earned it after months of nights with textbooks and practice. I believed this would change things. Back in the main office, Caleb drops the punch harder. "We're passing your promotion to my friend's nephew. But here's the deal, prove you're a team player. I need you to cover 2 jobs from now on." He lays out an email, typed, clear. He needs me to take on scheduling for the outpatient clinic and audit inpatient charts. I ask, "Isn't that beyond my role?" He leans back and shrugs. "Do it. I need someone who will step up." I swallow. Inside, I'm furious. Outside, I nod. I return to my cubicle, open my email, and read Caleb's instructions. One bullet stands out. Access patient files across multiple departments and compile them by end of day. Use patient identifiers as needed for accuracy. The phrasing is odd. It feels off, but I trust him. I send back, "Affirmative, when do you want it?" He replies at 6:12 p.m. "ASAP. Drop it in my inbox." I work late. I open charts, pulling data, merging spreadsheets, copying patient names, IDs, diagnoses. I feel uneasy. But I'm told I'm showing I'm part of the team. The next day, Caleb pats me on the shoulder. "See, I knew you were dependable." Weeks pass. I take on both roles. I'm tired, frustrated, not paid more. I watch the nephew walk into the new role I had been promised. I fight the resentment but keep my head down. Then one evening, as I file the audit report, there's a knock at the office door. 3 people in suits stand in the doorway. One flashes an ID. "State Regulator, Department of Health Services." My heart stops. The lead regulator says, "We're investigating unauthorized access to protected patient data. We need to speak with the person who pulled the spreadsheet from the outpatient clinic last week." I look at Caleb. He shifts. I realize, the odd instruction, the patient identifiers, the double job, this has become big. If you're enjoying this story, hit like and subscribe. And drop a comment. What would you have done if you were in my shoes when Caleb asked you to prove you're a team player? I take a deep breath and stand up. The regulator points at me. "You're it." I follow the state regulators into the break room, now turned into a temporary interview space. They close the door. The woman in the navy blazer, Agent Rivera, pulls out a manila folder. "You accessed 117 patient files in one day," she says, laying out a printout. "Why?" I tell the truth. I show her the email from Caleb, his exact instructions. I even show her the timestamps. Her partner, a tall guy with thick glasses, nods slowly, jotting down notes. "You know HIPAA laws don't allow access unless it's for direct patient care or explicitly part of your job description, right?" he asks. "I was following orders," I say. "I was doing both scheduling and auditing like he asked." They look at each other. Then Agent Rivera leans in. "This email, can we make a copy?" I nod. They take photos on a tablet. Then she asks, "Were you trained to handle patient data across multiple departments?" "No," I answer honestly, "but I was told to, in writing." That night, I barely sleep. The next morning, Caleb doesn't show up to work. His office is dark, his car's not in the lot. People start whispering. I sit at my desk like nothing's wrong, but I can feel eyes on me. I get an email at 10:07 a.m. It's from HR. "Please come to conference room B for a meeting." I walk in to find Caleb sitting across from the HR director, arms crossed, red in the face. "She went outside the chain of command," he snaps. "She didn't clarify with me." I don't say anything at first. Then I slowly place a printed copy of his email on the table. "Here's where you told me to do exactly what I did," I say. The HR director reads it. Her expression changes. "We'll need to pause here. This needs to be escalated to legal." Caleb stands up, huffing. "You're just trying to take my job," he growls, storming out. The HR director sighs. "You can return to your desk. But for now, don't touch any patient records. We'll assign your tasks elsewhere. As I head back, coworkers glance up from cubicles. I keep my head down, but inside I'm shaking. Caleb's unraveling, and it's only beginning. 2 days later, the regulators are back. This time with more people and a court order. They lock Caleb's computer. They seize hard drives. They copy surveillance footage from the data room. I hear one of them say, "There's more going on than just one unauthorized spreadsheet." That night, a nurse named Jeline knocks quietly on my cubicle wall. "You didn't hear this from me," she whispers, "but Caleb's been giving out access codes to people outside the hospital. He's been doing it for months." I blink. "Why?" She leans in closer. "Insurance fraud, billing kickbacks. Rumor is he's feeding patient data to third parties." My blood runs cold. I had no idea I was part of something that deep. I thought it was just about a promotion, just about fairness. But this was bigger. Caleb had used me as a pawn. And now the regulators are peeling back layers I didn't even know existed. The following Monday, Caleb doesn't show up again. But this time, it's not a sick day. The morning news flashes a headline on one of the clinic TVs in the waiting room. "Local hospital manager under state investigation for data breach, possible fraud." His name isn't mentioned, but we all know who it is. An hour later, HR sends a department-wide email. "Effective immediately, Caleb R. has been placed on administrative leave pending investigation." People start talking openly now. Some are shocked, others not so much. I get pulled into another meeting, this time with legal. They thank me for cooperating. They show me a document Caleb signed months ago, authorizing access to systems he never trained anyone on. They also show me another name. His nephew, Trevor, the one who got my promotion. Turns out Trevor didn't have clearance either. "He accessed multiple records under your login," the legal officer says. I blink. "What? Caleb gave him your credentials." That's when it hits me. I wasn't just a pawn, I was the fall guy. If the regulators had never dug deeper, everything would have been pinned on me. I walk out of that meeting shaken. I check my emails, my access logs. They show timestamps when I wasn't even in the building. Trevor had been logging in remotely, using the credentials Caleb copied from my training packet. I start documenting everything. I print my badge logs. I match them to the login records. I even print my time cards. I organize it all into a folder labeled just in case. 2 days later, someone breaks into the file room where the printed patient data was stored. The staff finds a drawer forced open, files scattered. The security footage shows a man in scrubs with his back to the camera. HR sends a blast message asking if anyone saw anything. That afternoon, Trevor doesn't come in. Later, someone forwards me a Facebook post from his page. "Moving to Austin, fresh start, time to get out of this cold." No goodbye, no notice. I forward the post to HR. 10 minutes later, they call me and ask if I'll come in for a sworn statement. This time, I bring my folder. Everything printed, everything highlighted. The HR officer, the legal advisor, and a rep from the hospital board all sit down with me. I go through every point, every login, every email. I lay out the exact times Trevor accessed files under my name. I even hand over a screenshot of a Slack message where Caleb says, "Just let Trev use your machine if needed. He's trusted." The room goes quiet. Then the legal rep finally says, "This is serious." He thanks me and tells me I've done the right thing. Then he adds, "There may be formal statements required from you later and maybe even a deposition." I nod, I'm ready now. For weeks, it's quiet. Until one morning, a hospital-wide email drops. The health department has concluded its investigation. Several policy violations were uncovered. As a result, our hospital will be undergoing a full data systems overhaul. Disciplinary actions are underway. Then comes a second, shorter email from HR to me personally. "Can you meet with us this afternoon regarding an opportunity?" I walk in at 2 p.m. expecting another thank you. But what they tell me blows my mind. The room is quiet when I walk in. Just me, the HR director, and someone I haven't met before, a woman in a navy pantsuit with a hospital badge that reads, "Compliance Officer, State Oversight Team." The HR director smiles, but it's tight. Nervous. "We appreciate your cooperation throughout this investigation," she begins, motioning for me to sit. The state officer jumps in. "We wanted to speak with you in person because of what we've found and because of what it means for you." I freeze. What it means for me? She sets down a folder and opens it carefully. Inside are two printed screenshots, one of Caleb's instructions to me and another of Trevor accessing records using my login. You were used, she says, voice steady, used as a shield for their violations. I nod slowly. I figured that out. But because you documented everything and cooperated fully, she pauses, we've decided not only to clear you entirely of any wrongdoing, but also to offer a formal letter of commendation from the State Board of Health Services. I blink. Commendation? The HR director speaks again, this time more upbeat. It's more than that. The hospital is restructuring the entire data department. We need someone who knows the system inside and out. Someone with integrity. She smiles a bit more genuinely now. We'd like to offer you the role of data compliance supervisor. Full-time, starting at $82,000 annually. Benefits, remote flexibility. I stare at her. Wait, what? It's yours if you want it. I want to laugh, but I hold it in. I nod once. Yes, I want it. When I walk out, it feels surreal. My old cubicle is already cleaned out. Someone else must have packed it. I walk past Caleb's old office. The nameplate is gone. A sheet of printer paper has been taped over the door. Vacant. I head to the parking lot and sit in my car, gripping the steering wheel. But the story isn't over yet. Later that week, the final report from the state gets leaked. Somehow, a local news site picks it up. Headline: Former hospital manager, nephew tied to unauthorized access, suspended amid data breach investigation. The story includes a summary of how I cooperated, how my documentation helped uncover a wider system of fraud and negligence, and how the hospital took immediate steps to promote internal staff with proven ethics. People at work stop whispering. They start nodding when I walk by. One nurse actually says, "Glad you're still here." Then something strange happens. I get a LinkedIn message from Trevor. "Hey, I know things got messy. I didn't know Caleb was using your info like that. I thought it was all above board. Hope we're cool." I don't answer. A few days later, another message shows up. This one from a law firm, a subpoena request. Caleb is being sued by a former patient whose private diagnosis got leaked and used in a scam. I'm named as a witness. I meet with the patient's attorney via Zoom. They're polite but thorough. "We may ask you to testify," they say. "Whatever you need," I answer. And then the cherry on top comes 6 weeks later. A check. From the hospital's liability insurer. $10,000. Labeled, Compliance Assistance Award Non-Liability Participant. Apparently, the hospital created a quiet thank you fund to recognize staff who help prevent lawsuits. I deposit it that afternoon. It's more than the money. It's the fact that I was nearly ruined and came out ahead. I wasn't trying to bring anyone down. I just wanted the promotion I earned. And in the end, I got something better. A whole new title, a new salary, and my name cleared. But Caleb, I heard he's living in northern Minnesota now, off the grid, trying to start over. He's welcome to it.